Trish Regan is here of the Trish Regan podcast, famed business journalist. All right. Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Is there any reason to think the economy is going to get better without a change in policy?
Look, I don't think this president understands the economy. I'm just going to be very frank and very blunt about that. I don't think the economy is something that he can fully grasp. I've had moments where I've doubted whether he can grasp a lot of concepts, even on the legal front. I mean, you see what just happened there with the education loan givebacks that he wanted to put through, and the courts are blocking that. So I don't think
not only are the courts blocking it.
He's been in politics his whole life. Let's be clear on that. He's never had to pay a payroll.
Yeah, no, you said about the education loans. That's where we're going next. We actually have the screen. Student loan debt relief is blocked. This is the administration's webpage. The Texas judge strikes it down. But if you go to studentaid.gov to apply for loan relief, you're not allowed to even apply anymore, which is curious that this happened also a couple of days after the election, that suddenly they stopped taking the applications. But we digress. But really, from a voter perspective, the voters had a choice. They could have, Republicans ran on the issue of inflation, they ran on the economy, and that was pretty roundly rejected. So at some point, we get the government we deserve, we get the government we vote for. Maybe people aren't that upset about the economic policies.
You know, I've thought about this because it is perplexing, right, Leland? I mean, it looks like there was going to be a big red wave, and it just didn't happen. So you got to ask yourself, why is that? And I think it's because voters really do want people with backgrounds that sort of prove themselves out. So whether that's in business, whether that's in politics, and I look to Ron DeSantis, for example, as a great example of how people responded to his policies. Voters trusted what he could do. I think it's challenging, and there was a lot of pressure on Donald Trump, for example, to be the one to anoint all these other senators, et cetera. Well, he had what he had, which translated to a lot of people liking him or hating him, for that matter. But I don't know if that necessarily translates to him being able to handpick, okay, this guy's going to run in New Hampshire and win, and this guy's going to run in Pennsylvania and win. It's not Donald Trump running, it's his proteges in these various places who don't necessarily transcend the way he did. I mean, he had his business background, for example, and, you know, you can say what you want about it, but the guy had built a business, and that was in part what held so much appeal way back when in 2016. What did Don Bullock have? What did Oz have? I mean, I think that voters want somebody who can do the job.
Right. Well, in the end, what both of them had in common, if you ask you, Don Bullock in New Hampshire and Mastriano, say, in Pennsylvania, is they said that the 2020 election was stolen, and that was the prerequisite, essentially, for getting the Trump endorsement in the primaries, and that's what happens. I guess from a strictly business sense, though, from an economic policy sense, we haven't heard a lot of talk this week about recession anymore. And Chris Russell, our executive producer, pointed that out, of like sort of the recession has just sort of disappeared from the ether. Is that because we're out of the woods, or is it because everyone's just been talking about the election results?
I think a recession is absolutely still in the cards. In fact, Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, said so this week over in London in a conference, that he anticipates a recession in the next 6 to 9 months. Look, I don't think there's a way to avoid it at this point, given what the Federal Reserve is doing, Leland. They are pulling all this money out of the economy at a time when people are already hurting thanks to inflation. So in my estimation, a recession, a significant one, is unavoidable. We have done too much in the way of money printing from both our federal government and our federal
I got 20 seconds. If the election had gone differently, was it avoidable?
Forgive me, say that again.
If the election had gone differently, was a recession avoidable?
No, no. The train has
fair
left the station. I'm sorry. You can't fix those things overnight. They take a little time.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, Trish, thank you very much as always. Have a great weekend.
You too, Leland.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.